Dating doesn't have to be complicated, but too often people make it more difficult than it needs to be. Women especially tend to overthink, analyze every little detail, and stress themselves out trying to figure out a man's intentions. But the truth is, when you simplify the process, you gain more clarity, confidence, and control over your love life. It's time to stop chasing, stop settling, and start dating with intention. When you do that, you'll attract the right man and get the results you truly want. Clarity is key when it comes to dating, yet so many people enter relationships without truly understanding what they want. The first step in simplifying dating is taking the time to reflect on your desires, needs, and non-negotiables. Without clarity, it's easy to get swept up in the emotions of dating and find yourself in a situation that doesn't truly align with what you're looking for. You must be intentional about the kind of relationship you want. Do you want something serious or casual? Are you looking for a lifelong partner, or are you open to exploring connections without commitment? Many people assume that dating is just about meeting someone and seeing where it goes, but that approach often leads to wasted time and unnecessary heartbreak. When you lack clarity, you become more susceptible to falling for the wrong person, ignoring red flags, and making compromises that go against your values. The clearer you are about what you want, the easier it becomes to recognize when a man aligns with your vision and when he doesn't. Understanding your own emotional needs is a part of this clarity. Some people crave deep emotional intimacy, while others may prioritize stability, companionship, or shared values. If you don't know what you need, you'll find yourself in relationships that leave you feeling unfulfilled. Instead of blaming the man for not meeting your needs, take responsibility for knowing what those needs are in the first place. This also applies to recognizing what you don't want. A lot of people ignore their gut feelings when something feels off in a relationship because they haven't taken the time to define their boundaries. When you lack clarity, you may allow situations to drag on longer than they should, hoping that things will improve or that you can change the other person. But clarity helps you make decisions from a place of strength rather than fear of losing someone. When you are clear about what you want, you also communicate more effectively. Many dating issues arise from miscommunication or mismatched expectations. A woman who wants commitment should not entertain a man who is unsure about settling down. Instead of hoping he'll change his mind, she should stand firm in her standards and move on if necessary. Clarity allows you to filter out the wrong men quickly, saving you from unnecessary emotional investment. It also gives you confidence in your dating journey. When you know what you're looking for, you stop settling for less. You become more discerning, and that energy alone makes you more attractive. A woman who is sure of herself is magnetic. She doesn't need to beg for attention or prove her worth because she already knows it. Another benefit of clarity is that it makes dating feel less complicated. When you aren't constantly second guessing yourself or wondering where things are going, you enjoy the process more. There's a sense of peace in knowing that you're making decisions aligned with your values. You stop chasing people who aren't for you, and you start attracting those who truly resonate with who you are. Clarity isn't about having all the answers immediately. It's about having a strong foundation so that when the right person comes along, you recognize it with confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a woman can have, and it plays a crucial role in simplifying dating and getting the results you want. When you exude confidence, you naturally attract better quality men and set the tone for how you expect to be treated. Many women make the mistake of shrinking themselves or dimming their light to make a man feel more comfortable, but this only leads to unbalanced relationships where their needs aren't prioritized. Confidence is about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It's about walking into every dating situation with the understanding that you bring value to the table. When you embrace this mindset, you stop tolerating behaviors that don't align with your standards, and you stop allowing fear to dictate your dating choices. A confident woman is selective. She doesn't feel the need to entertain every man who shows interest in her because she understands that not every man is a good match for her. She values quality over quantity and isn't afraid to walk away from situations that don't serve her. This kind of confidence simplifies dating because it helps you avoid unnecessary drama and heartbreak. Instead of chasing validation from men, you focus on finding someone who truly complements your life. This doesn't mean you won't face rejection, but confidence allows you to handle it with grace. A woman who knows her worth doesn't see rejection as a reflection of her value. She sees it as redirection towards someone better suited for her. This mindset prevents you from wasting time on men who aren't serious about you and keeps you from lowering your standards out of desperation. Confidence also influences the way you communicate. Many dating issues arise because women hesitate to express their true thoughts and feelings out of fear of pushing a man away. They avoid asking where the relationship is going or what a man's intentions are because they don't want to seem too demanding. But a confident woman doesn't play games or wait in uncertainty. She knows that open and honest communication is the key to building a strong connection, and she's not afraid to have direct conversations. If a man isn't able to handle her honesty, she takes it as a sign that he's not the right fit for her rather than seeing it as a personal flaw. This approach eliminates a lot of unnecessary stress in dating because it allows both people to be on the same page from the beginning. Another reason confidence simplifies dating is that it helps you maintain emotional balance. Many women get caught up in overthinking and overanalyzing every little detail when dating a man, which creates anxiety and uncertainty. But when you're confident, you don't feel the need to obsess over whether he likes you or whether he'll call you back. You trust in yourself, and in the process, you focus on showing up as your authentic self and you let things unfold naturally. This self-assurance creates an energy that draws the right kind of men towards you and naturally filters out the ones who aren't ready for what you have to offer. Setting boundaries is essential when it comes to simplifying dating and getting the results you want. Many women struggle with establishing clear limits because they fear pushing a man away or being seen as too difficult. However, boundaries are not about restricting love, they are about creating a space where healthy, respectful, and meaningful connections can flourish. Without them, you end up in situations where your needs are neglected, your emotions are manipulated, and your sense of self-worth is compromised. When you set strong boundaries, you communicate your expectations clearly and ensure that you are only investing in relationships that align with your values and desires. Boundaries help protect your emotional energy in dating. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new relationship and ignore red flags because you don't want to ruin the connection. But when you have clear boundaries, you recognize that protecting your heart is more important than pleasing someone else. You don't allow a man to dictate the pace of the relationship without your input. You don't tolerate inconsistent behavior or settle for breadcrumbs of affection. Instead, you stand firm in what you require and you hold men accountable for how they treat you. This approach simplifies dating because it weeds out those who are not serious about you and leaves room for the right person to step in. Another benefit of boundaries is that they create clarity. Many dating struggles come from confusion about where things stand, what each person wants, and what is considered acceptable behavior. Women often find themselves in situationships where they invest emotionally without knowing if there's a real commitment. Boundaries eliminate this uncertainty because they define what is and isn't acceptable to you. If a man is unwilling to respect your boundaries, he's showing you that he's not the right match for you. This prevents wasted time and emotional exhaustion. Instead of constantly guessing his intentions, you can focus on someone who values and respects what you bring to the table. Boundaries also foster self-respect. Every time you enforce a boundary, you reinforce the belief that you deserve love, care, and consideration. When you compromise your standards, you send yourself the message that your needs aren't as important as someone else's desires. Over time, this can erode your self-worth and make you feel unappreciated in relationships. However, when you stand by your boundaries, you show yourself that you are worthy of being treated with respect. This self-respect is attractive because it signals to high-quality men that you are not someone who will tolerate mistreatment. It also encourages healthy relationship dynamics where both partners understand and honor each other's limits. Setting boundaries builds emotional security. Many women fear being alone or losing a man if they assert their needs. But the truth is that the right man will respect and appreciate a woman who knows what she wants. When you have clear boundaries, you approach dating from a place of confidence instead of fear. You are not afraid to walk away from something that doesn't serve you. And that kind of strength is what ultimately leads you to the fulfilling relationship you desire. Understanding a man's actions rather than just listening to his words is a game changer in dating. Many women get caught up in what a man says, hoping that his promises and sweet words are a reflection of his true intentions. However, the reality is that words can be empty while actions consistently reveal the truth. When you focus on what a man does rather than what he says, you gain clarity and avoid unnecessary hard tasks. A man who truly values you will show you through his actions. He won't just tell you he cares, he will prove it by making time for you, being consistent, and ensuring that his behavior aligns with his words. If a man says he's interested in a relationship but rarely makes an effort to see you or communicate with you, his actions are sending a different message. Paying attention to these discrepancies allows you to make decisions based on reality rather than potential. Too many women fall into the trap of believing a man's words while ignoring his actions, leading to disappointment and wasted emotional energy. When you prioritize actions, you also set a standard for the kind of treatment you expect. A man who is serious about you will be intentional in his efforts. He will plan dates, follow through on his commitments, and make an effort to integrate you into his life. On the other hand, a man who keeps making excuses, cancels plans last minute, or gives vague responses about the future is showing you that he's not as invested as he claims to be. Recognizing these patterns early prevents you from holding onto a relationship that isn't going anywhere. Another reason why actions matter more than words is that they reveal a man's character over time. Anyone can put on an act in the beginning stages of dating, but consistency is key. A man who is genuinely kind, respectful, and committed will continue to show those qualities long after the initial excitement fades. If his actions start to shift once he feels comfortable or once he believes he has won you over, that's a red flag. Watching how he treats you over an extended period will give you the real answer about whether he is truly the right partner for you. By prioritizing a man's actions, you free yourself from confusion and disappointment. You no longer have to guess where you stand or make excuses for someone's lack of effort. Instead, you can confidently walk away from situations that don't serve you and invest in relationships that are built on genuine care, respect, and consistency. Setting boundaries early in a relationship is one of the most important things a woman can do to protect her emotional well-being and establish a strong foundation for a healthy connection. Many women hesitate to set boundaries because they fear pushing a man away, but the truth is that boundaries don't drive the right man away, they attract him. A man who genuinely cares about you will respect the standards you set and appreciate your self-respect. On the other hand, a man who resists your boundaries or tries to push past them is showing you early on that he does not have your best interests at heart. Boundaries help define what you will and will not accept in a relationship. They communicate your values, priorities, and non-negotiables. When you fail to set clear boundaries, you leave room for misunderstandings and unmet expectations, which often lead to frustration and disappointment. A man cannot respect limits you never establish. And if you allow behavior that goes against what you truly want, you end up feeling resentful. Setting boundaries is not about controlling a man, it's about honoring yourself and making sure you are treated with the respect and care you deserve. A key aspect of setting boundaries is being clear and direct. Many women hint at their needs or expect a man to just know what they want, but this often leads to confusion. If you don't want late night calls or last minute plans, say so. If exclusivity is important to you before intimacy, communicate that clearly. A man who respects you will appreciate knowing where you stand, while a man who only wants to take advantage of you will be turned off by your firmness. And that's a good thing because the wrong man leaving early is a blessing, not a loss. Another critical part of boundary setting is enforcing them. It's not enough to just state your boundaries, you must also stand by them. If a man crosses a boundary and you let it slide, you send the message that your words don't hold weight. For example, if you say that you won't tolerate disrespect, but then accept apologies without real change, you teach him that your boundaries are flexible. A man will only take your standards as seriously as you do. Holding firm to your boundaries means being willing to walk away when they are repeatedly violated. Healthy boundaries create a sense of safety and stability in a relationship. They allow both partners to feel respected and valued. A woman who sets boundaries exudes confidence and self-worth, which naturally attracts a high-quality man. Men are drawn to women who know their value and refuse to settle for less than they deserve. When you set boundaries, you establish yourself as a woman who requires effort, respect, and genuine commitment. This not only filters out the wrong men, but also strengthens the bond with the right one. Self-love is the foundation of a healthy relationship. Too many women seek validation and happiness through a man, believing that love from another person will fill the emptiness they feel inside. But the truth is, no one can love you the way you need to be loved until you first learn to love yourself. When you embrace self-love, you no longer accept less than you deserve, and you attract a partner who values and respects you on a deeper level. A man who sees that you prioritize your own happiness and well-being will recognize that he must step up to match your energy. Loving yourself means setting the standard for how others treat you. When you carry yourself with confidence and self-respect, the right man will take notice. He will understand that you are not looking for someone to complete you, but rather someone to complement the life you have already built for yourself. Men are naturally drawn to women who exude self-assurance because it signals emotional stability and independence. It shows that you are not desperate for love, but are open to it in a way that enhances your life. Desperation pushes men away, while confidence pulls them in. Self-love also allows you to make better decisions in dating. When you truly value yourself, you won't tolerate mistreatment, inconsistency, or manipulation. You won't entertain men who play games or leave you feeling confused about where you stand. Instead, you will recognize red flags early and walk away without hesitation. You will not try to fix a man or settle for someone who does not align with your values and goals. A woman who loves herself does not chase love. She attracts it effortlessly because she radiates security and peace. One of the biggest mistakes women make is seeking happiness through a relationship. While a healthy relationship can add joy to your life, it should never be your sole source of happiness. When you depend on a man to make you feel worthy, you give him power over your emotions. This can lead to unhealthy attachments, anxiety, and a fear of losing him, which often results in behaviors that push him away. A woman who is secure in herself is not afraid of being alone. She understands that solitude is better than being in the wrong relationship, and she does not compromise her peace just to have someone by her side. Self-love also teaches you to set boundaries and enforce them. When you value yourself, you do not allow others to disrespect you, take advantage of you, or diminish your worth. You stand firm in what you need from a relationship, and you are not afraid to walk away if those needs are not met. A man who genuinely cares about you will respect your boundaries, while a man who only seeks to benefit from you will be frustrated by them. This is one of the biggest ways self-love protects you from heartbreak and disappointment. Emotional availability is one of the most critical factors in a successful relationship. Many women find themselves frustrated because they invest time and energy into a man who is not emotionally open or willing to connect on a deeper level. When a man is emotionally unavailable, he may seem distant, inconsistent, or unwilling to express his feelings. This often leads to confusion and heartache because you may feel like you are constantly trying to pull emotions out of him, only to be met with resistance or avoidance. Recognizing this early can save you from unnecessary frustration and prevent you from investing in someone who is not ready for the type of love and commitment you desire. A man who is emotionally available will show it in his actions. He will engage in meaningful conversations, share his thoughts and feelings, and make an effort to understand yours. He will not shy away from discussing the future, nor will he avoid difficult conversations. Instead of shutting down or withdrawing when problems arise, he will work with you to find solutions and strengthen your connection. This level of emotional maturity is crucial because it allows both partners to feel safe, valued, and understood. Without it, the relationship will feel one-sided, with one person constantly giving and the other withholding. When you find yourself in a situation where a man is not emotionally present, it is essential to take a step back and evaluate whether he is capable of giving you what you need. Many women fall into the trap of trying to change a man or waiting for him to open up. However, emotional availability is not something that can be forced or fixed by someone else. It is an internal process that a person must work through on their own. If a man is emotionally closed off due to past trauma, fear of vulnerability, or personal insecurities, it is not your responsibility to heal him. You can support and encourage, but ultimately he must do the inner work to become emotionally present in the relationship. It is also important to understand that emotional availability is a two-way street. If you want a man to be open and vulnerable with you, you must also be willing to do the same. Creating a space where both of you feel comfortable expressing emotions without judgment builds a strong foundation for trust and intimacy. However, if you find yourself constantly giving without receiving the same level of emotional investment in return, it may be time to reevaluate whether the relationship is serving you in a healthy and fulfilling way. One of the biggest signs that a man is emotionally available is his consistency. He does not disappear for days, give mixed signals, or make you question his intentions. He makes an effort to be present in your life, both physically and emotionally. He listens when you speak, validates your feelings, and makes you feel secure in the connection. When a man values you, he does not leave you feeling uncertain about where you stand. Instead, he reassures you through both his words and his actions. Self-worth plays a crucial role in the dating process, yet many women overlook its importance. When you know your value, you set standards that reflect what you truly deserve, and you refuse to settle for less than that. Unfortunately, many women enter relationships from a place of insecurity, believing they must prove their worth to a man, instead of recognizing that they are already enough. This leads to chasing, overgiving, and accepting behaviors that do not align with their best interest. When a woman operates from a place of confidence, she naturally attracts men who respect and appreciate her rather than those who take advantage of her kindness and patience. A woman with strong self-worth does not tolerate inconsistency, broken promises, or mixed signals. She understands that a man's actions speak louder than his words, and she does not waste time making excuses for behavior that disrespects or undervalues her. Instead of clinging to potential, she evaluates a man based on how he treats her in the present moment. If he is inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, or unable to meet her needs, she does not hesitate to walk away. She does not chase after a man who pulls away or try to convince him to choose her, because she knows that the right man will never need convincing. When a woman is deeply connected to her self-worth, she does not measure her value based on a man's level of interest. She does not let rejection shake her confidence or make her question whether she is good enough. Instead, she sees rejection as redirection, understanding that someone who does not recognize her value is not meant for her. This mindset prevents her from internalizing the wrongs of others and allows her to move forward with confidence, knowing that the right person will cherish and appreciate what she brings to the table. One of the key differences between a woman with self-worth and one who struggles with insecurity is the way she approaches dating. A woman who knows her value does not rush into relationships out of fear of being alone. She takes her time to observe a man's character, consistency, and effort before fully investing her emotions. She does not let loneliness drive her into situations that do not serve her best interest. Instead, she remains patient, trusting that the right connection will come at the right time. This patience protects her from falling into relationships that drain her energy and leave her feeling unfulfilled. Boundaries are another essential aspect of self-worth, and a woman who values herself enforces them unapologetically. She does not allow a man to overstep her boundaries or make her feel guilty for having standards. She understands that setting boundaries is not about pushing people away, but about protecting her peace and emotional well-being. When a man truly values a woman, he respects her boundaries and sees them as a reflection of her strength rather than an obstacle. A woman with self-worth does not lower her standards for temporary validation. She stays true to herself, knowing that the right man will meet her at the level she deserves. Emotional availability is a crucial factor in building a healthy and lasting relationship, yet many women overlook its importance in the dating process. It is easy to be drawn to a man based on physical attraction, shared interests, or even the potential of what the relationship could become, but if he is not emotionally available, the connection will struggle to thrive. Many women find themselves investing deeply in a man who is not ready or willing to reciprocate at the same level. This often leads to frustration, disappointment, and feelings of unworthiness. Recognizing the signs of emotional unavailability early on can save a woman from investing her time and energy in a situation that is unlikely to lead to the fulfillment she desires. A man who is emotionally available is consistent in his actions and communication. He does not leave a woman guessing about where she stands or whether he is genuinely interested. He shows up, follows through on his words, and makes an effort to build a connection. When a man is not emotionally available, however, he often sends mixed signals. One moment, he may seem engaged and affectionate, and the next, he may withdraw, creating a cycle of confusion and emotional turmoil. Women who ignore these red flags often find themselves trying to analyze his behavior, making excuses for his inconsistency, or blaming themselves for his emotional distance. When a man is truly open to love, he does not fear emotional vulnerability. He is willing to have deep conversations, express his feelings, and allow himself to be seen for who he truly is. A man who is not emotionally available, however, often avoids meaningful discussions, dismisses emotional topics, or keeps things at a surface level. He may engage in casual dating or keep his options open because he is not ready to commit fully. A woman who values herself understands that emotional availability is not something she can force or fix in a man. She recognizes that a man must choose to do the inner work necessary to be present in a relationship, and she does not take on the responsibility of trying to heal him or change him. Another key indicator of emotional availability is a man's willingness to invest in the relationship. This does not only refer to financial investment, but also the investment of time, effort, and emotional energy. A man who is genuinely interested in a woman makes her a priority in his life. He does not make excuses about being too busy, nor does he keep her waiting or wondering about his level of interest. A man who is not emotionally available, however, often engages in breadcrumbing, giving just enough attention to keep the woman interested while never fully committing. This can create an illusion of potential, keeping the woman attached to something that is not truly progressing. A woman who understands her worth does not chase after emotional unavailability. She does not settle for inconsistency, nor does she allow a man's lack of readiness to dictate her sense of value. Instead, she remains firm in her standards and seeks a connection that is built on mutual emotional investment. She knows that a relationship should be a source of love, support, and growth, not a source of confusion and emotional exhaustion. Understanding your worth is one of the most powerful things you can do when it comes to dating and relationships. Many women enter relationships seeking validation, hoping that a man's attention, affection, or commitment will confirm their value. But the truth is, your worth is not determined by how a man treats you or whether he chooses you. It is something you must recognize and embrace within yourself. When a woman truly understands her worth, she does not tolerate mistreatment, inconsistency, or emotional unavailability. She knows that love should not require her to compromise her dignity or accept less than she deserves. A woman who values herself sets clear boundaries in her relationships. She does not allow a man to string her along, give her the bare minimum, or treat her as an option. She understands that boundaries are not about pushing people away, but about creating a space where only those who respect her can remain. When a man sees that a woman has standards and is not afraid to walk away if they are not met, he is more likely to step up and treat her with the respect and effort she deserves. But when a woman lacks boundaries and continuously accepts behavior that hurts her, she teaches a man that he can take her for granted without consequences. Confidence is another key aspect of recognizing your worth. A confident woman does not beg for love, chase after a man's attention, or try to prove herself worthy of his affection. She knows that she is already enough and she carries herself accordingly. She does not settle for being an afterthought or accept crumbs of affection just to keep a man in her life. Instead, she seeks a partner who values her just as much as she values herself. When a woman operates from a place of confidence, she does not allow fear of losing a man to dictate her decisions. She trusts that the right person will recognize her value without her having to convince them. Another important aspect of understanding your worth is knowing when to walk away. Many women stay in unhealthy relationships out of fear of being alone, fear of starting over, or fear that they will never find someone better. But when a woman truly understands her value, she refuses to stay in situations that do not serve her well. She knows that walking away from the wrong person creates space for the right one. She does not waste time trying to fix or change a man who does not appreciate her. Instead, she focuses on becoming the best version of herself and trusting that the right love will find her when the time is right. A woman who knows her worth also understands that she is not responsible for making a man ready for love. She does not wait around for him to figure out what he wants or try to convince him that she is the right choice. She knows that a man who truly values her will make his intentions clear. She does not chase, she attracts. She does not settle, she chooses wisely. She knows that real love is not about proving herself to someone, but about being with a partner who recognizes and cherishes her for who she truly is. Dating should not feel like a constant struggle. It should not drain your energy or make you feel insecure. When you simplify it by gaining clarity, attracting rather than chasing, trusting actions over words, setting boundaries, and letting go of forced outcomes, you position yourself to receive the love you truly desire. A healthy, fulfilling relationship is built on mutual effort, respect, and alignment. When you approach dating with confidence and self worth, the right man will have no choice but to step up and meet you where you are.